Hello, everyone, and welcome to Scion of the Dark House, a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition Gothic horror podcast. Because this is Gothic horror, there may be some things that come up to align for some people, such as blood, gore, violence, body horror, talk of abuse and trauma, child endangerment, and various other things. If anything comes up to align for you, please take a break. Your support means a lot to us, but so does your mental health. So last time, the group had just finished wrecking the shrine of Mammon in the windmill after fighting a devil covered in chains that was guarding it. They found that the butchers in town, the Varkans, had a shrine to Mammon and were using his magic to fatten their pigs and make extra money. They went back and addressed the Varkans by surprising them, freezing them, and then tying them up. After getting the information that they needed, that the Hell Pig was indeed their doing, they decided that was enough information and slit their throats, then burned the butchery to the ground. At the same time, the Hell Pig had been unleashed on the town, and they ran towards it as it burned acres upon acres of the field. They fought it and killed it to find that it transformed back into the butcher's daughter that they did not know that they had. Leaving her dead body in the field, they went back to the severed heartstring and received their reward of 1,000 gold from Tiffany, the pub owner, and went to bed in rooms on the house. We wake up the next morning, their long rest undisturbed, ready for the day. So now that you all are awake, what would you like to do?
I guess I just kind of want to go see how the town is doing this morning. I just want to peek my head out, and the butcher is burned down. How are people reacting? What's the vibe?
It seems that there is a relief in the town. People are still in shock as some of the houses did get burned. While you were focusing on the fields, the fire did spread a bit to some of the houses. None of them fully burnt down, but there are definitely substantial damage on some of them. There's still that shock of a traumatic event happening, but there's also a relief knowing that the pig is indeed gone. The pig will not be disturbing them anymore. And it's kind of a strange vibe. It's a strange vibe of two completely contradictory feelings bumping up against one another. And as a result, it's kind of oddly quiet.
Cool. Just wait for the party to collect, have our breakfast, say goodbye to Tiffany.
Yeah, breakfast is on the house. She says, well, breakfast is on the house today. However, I'm sorry. I can't afford to keep giving breakfasts on the house, so you will have to pay next time, but it's on the house this morning. And she actually has a very nice plate of pancakes that she gives you guys, as well as, of course, plenty of bacon, which seems to be the town's specialty at the moment.
Not anymore. All right. Percy also did like a lot of praying last night.
I'm sure.
And even like over the meal, he doesn't even always pray over his meal, but he's gonna pray over his meal today. He's trying to, I don't know, look better in Saint Hypatia's eyes after yesterday's deeds. But yeah, we'll eat, and do we want to role play anything, or do we just want to get back on the road?
Did we give that girl her brother's amulet?
No.
We should probably
do that.
Like, Lark wouldn't say to eat that because Lark wouldn't care, but one of you guys who has a conscience probably would. So Percy.
Yeah, it's me. I'm the one person with a conscience.
I think Alex doesn't have one.
Yeah, okay. Oh geez, what's her name? I don't even think I wrote her name down. The one time I don't write an NPC's name down. It's the one.
Ooh. Cecilia Mooney.
Cecilia Mooney. Okay, Lark, before we leave, we have to give Cecilia her brother's amulet, so she's some kind of closure.
Wasn't she staying in the inn with us or near us?
Yeah, she was staying near you guys. You do see her sort of midnight blue shirt past the window, and the door opens, and she comes in and sits down. And Tiffany, of course, begins taking her order as she kind of just kind of looks a bit glum.
Yeah.
Just waiting.
I'll take the amulet over to her and Cecilia. Hi.
Hello, good morning. I heard the news. You dealt
Yes.
with the hell pig. Did you find out anything about my brother?
Yes, Cecilia. Well, I'm very sorry. I think your brother's probably dead.
She takes the amulet, and you watch as she kind of nods and goes, "Yeah, I had a feeling that was going to happen." And you watch as tears well in her eyes as she puts the necklace on, and she takes the two pieces of the amulet and she slides them together, and there's a slight soft click as they become one amulet. And you see, just like in the drawing that she showed you the day before, it is a complete disc with a crescent moon and the night sky with silver stars on it as she clicks it together, and she kind of just holds it. And you can tell she's definitely trying very hard not to just like openly sob, but she's also definitely feeling a lot as she just kind of, she doesn't even look you in the eye at this point. She just goes, "Thank you. I'll need some time to deal with this."
Of course. Very sorry for your loss.
She just nods as Tiffany comes back with some bacon and pancakes and sets them down, and she kind of turns and looks at you for a moment with like a look of confusion, and then kind of just backs away as she goes and serves other customers.
If you ever find yourself in Darkmoor, where me and my friends are from, if you ever need anything, you can find us there.
That's very kind of you. Thank you.
I'll leave you to your breakfast.
And she just kind of nods, and she picks up her fork, and you watch as she just stares at her food for a moment and then kind of puts her hand down on the table, letting the fork kind of drop a little bit, not letting go of it, but letting it. It's very clear that she's very deeply affected by this.
Yeah. Cool.
And Alex, having just a shred of conscience in his mind, was just like, take some coins out, puts them on the table, is like, here you go, this covers your meal. Sorry about your brother, babe. Bye. They're just like slinks. Oh, I'd be like,
She kind of almost doesn't
Bye.
react. She just kind of looks at the coins and just manages to get out a "Thank you."
no problem. Bye.
Lark's gonna butt in and just be like, "At least the people who did it are dead. You're welcome for that."
That too.
And she kind of nods.
And we made
"Thank
it,
you.
Bert.
Avenged.
Thank you, but I'd like some time to myself. Just
Yeah. Let's
a
go.
while.
Let's just go start pushing.
Enjoy your food. Bye. Try the latte. It's good here. Bye.
So you find yourself back out on the open road. The smoke still rises from the fields around you, and floats across your path as you walk up towards the city of Mourning. The vast, it is quite a bit bigger than Darkmoor. There are buildings crammed in left and right. Everything is every corner is decorated like it's part of a cathedral. Every corner, every alley, every street. It is all incredibly gorgeous and incredibly ostentatious. And this is just the lower part of the city. Percy, while you've never been here before, you would be aware that Mourning is also the sort of capital of this intercessory religion that Gothia and Kievka and Caliburn follow. This has the Grand Cathedral, which is the central place of worship where the High Archbishop serves with their cardinals. You would know that the High Archbishop is High Archbishop Miranda. You would also know that the Grand Cathedral is its own complex. It is basically its own city where monks and cardinals and priests all live. It also possesses a building called the Rotunda, where there's a shrine to every canonized saint. You would also know that the public is not generally allowed on the grounds. There is the Grand Cathedral and the Grand Cathedral proper, sometimes known as the High Cathedral, that's only for the High Archbishop and the cardinals. But the Grand Cathedral people are allowed in, but they're not allowed beyond that. You, however, can go beyond that. You can't go into the High Cathedral, but you can go beyond that onto the Grand Cathedral grounds. And because your party is accompanying you, you can basically get permission to take them onto the grounds. You would also know that this is the place where the nobles, the king and queen of Gothia live. You would know, it's in the document that I sent you, but the royal family is King David and Queen Ravenna Dumont, and their children are Prince Arthur and Prince Gabriel, as well as Princess Sybil, Princess Catherine, and Princess Emerald. And they live in the palace that is basically also a city unto itself. There are 2 mini cities that are in the upper city, as well as a bunch of rich neighborhoods. And
Awesome.
so you would definitely know that. Alex, you'd probably know that as well. Arthur, of course, would probably somewhat know that. He doesn't seem like a big history guy. But as you guys are walking through the streets of Darkmoor, we move to another character. Carlyle, would you like to introduce yourself and describe yourself a little bit and kind of say what your character has been doing for a little bit before the group bumps into you?
Yeah. So you see a older man, probably in his mid-50s, though he's seen a little wear and tear, and you can see like the dark wrinkles, the large scar across his eye and in the bridge of his nose. He's unshaven, quite unshaven, and the shit he's seen makes him seem actually older than what he probably is. He's definitely laughing to himself right now. More than a little bit too much to drink, but seeming like he's having a damn good time. And you said this is the city, right?
Yes, this is in the city.
So he's is coming across as someone who's been bar hopping once or twice, probably from early morning till now.
All right. So as you are kind of wandering the streets, laughing to yourself, people kind of moving out of your way as you're swaying through the streets, you have been looking for somebody. It's been a while and information has been a bit sparse, but you have been looking for someone. And as you were kind of just scanning the faces in the crowd, your eyes lock onto this one person, and you, even through your drunken stupor, just know, no way. This is the person that I have been looking for what seems to be months now. Time is a little bit hard to keep track of. But that's Percy. And next to him is his cousin, Alex. You have been looking for them for a little bit. You also see there is a gold dragonborn with a green cloak and a staff tipped with a crystal ball. There is, interestingly, also a fairy with monarch butterfly wings kind of flittering back and forth between them. You also see a brown-haired half-elf with a panther. It's a bit of an odd bunch, and you almost take a bit of a double take, as if it's hard to believe, just something conjured by the drink that you've been guzzling since early morning, but it has to be. There's no way it's not. And the rest of you see this strange older man with a bottle kind of swaying towards you guys with the clear intent of wanting to speak with you.
Just don't make eye contact. Just walk by.
Holy shit! Alex, Percy, do my eyes deceive me? What the? What a
Alex, do you know him?
coincidence.
I know
Oh.
nobody's hot, so let's just go with this.
It's me.
Hi.
Hi! Hey, are you single? I mean, hi.
It's your Uncle Carlyle. Carlyle, you remember me. Ellie and Howard's friend. Come on. I know. I know. I'm
we
getting a
remember
little.
Uncle Carlyle?
Are we related? Because I just got
I would
weird feelings
assume
if we
by
are.
uncle.
So you might have heard stories about an Uncle Carlyle that went missing quite a bit ago.
Cool. See, Uncle Carlyle? Didn't you go missing? Or
Just to clarify, Spencer, that's somebody else.
Oh.
That's somebody else.
Oh,
Carlyle. Yeah,
I'm trying to.
I know. We should have had that little pre-talk, just a reminder 5 minutes ago. No.
Yeah, there's a lot of plot
Yes, there's
reasons.
a lot there, but
okay,
they would not.
Okay, yeah, they wouldn't know.
cool.
Okay,
So,
yeah.
I don't think we have an uncle named Carlyle.
No,
I think you
no,
must be
I really
mistaken.
hope that we don't, because I am just thinking about him. And
Keep it in your
places
pants
that-
for once.
Sorry, I cannot help it. When I see a distinguished gentleman, I'm just like, hello.
Boys, and friends, let's just go have a drink on your good old uncle. Oh,
You don't have to tell me twice. Let's go.
I'm gonna make an insight check just to just
Sure.
see if this man is gonna lead us into a dark alley and bug us. That's gonna be a 21.
21. I have no intention of mugging you.
Okay, yeah, I guess at this point, Percy's just like, we just wandered into a city purely for looking for information about our family, and it seems to have fallen into our lap at the moment. So I guess we'll follow this lead.
He takes you to whatever is the dingiest bar in this area.
So that would probably be the crypt.
Nice.
So it is literally a catacombs that has been sort of desanctified and had all the bodies moved to a graveyard. And the person that bought it out is this bizarre tiefling man named Baron Port. He goes by that. It's like a character that he does. He's a very rotund gentleman. But yeah, it's literally out of a catacombs. The tombs themselves are kind of rented out as rooms.
Hell yeah.
And you can sleep in a crypt. And yeah, it's not the greatest. It seems like it seems like a rich guy that wanted to have a bar but didn't know how to run one and thought it can't be too hard. So yeah, it's pretty dingy. So yeah, he takes you down a street and you get to this sort of place in between two houses where there's the back of another house and stairs that lead down. And there is a ramshackle sign that's put up, nailed to the door, that is in the shape of a coffin that just reads "The Crypt," painted in really shitty letters. But it seems to be a legit bar. You open the door and it has a bar, it has kegs, it has seating. A lot of the walls have like the bones of dead people put in them, skulls all facing outward. And you see a few people kind of serving alcohol, and this sort of portly purple tiefling wearing very rich clothes for being in such a dingy shithole, kind of wandering around with he has a handlebar mustache, he's smoking a pipe, just kind of wandering around, just kind of very clear that he doesn't know what he's doing here. But you would know, Carlyle, he is the owner, in fact, of the bar. He owns this place. Yeah, and you wander in here.
Have you been? You can't beat the crypt.
No, I think we're brand new to this city. It's kind of like softly sit down and like wipe off the dust from my seat or something.
Yeah,
And I'm just like,
it's
oh,
not
this is
the most well maintained.
this is cute. I'm loving all the dead bodies repurposed for the
Right.
gods. Yes, I
Not
love
for
this.
the gods.
You said
Not
you
at
were
all for
buy-
the gods.
You said you were gonna buy us drinks though, babes.
Of course, Alex. Wow, you're different than I thought you'd be.
Right. So
I love it.
That's
Full of
so
personality.
let's get down to brass tacks. Why don't we?
Before
Let's
that,
get down
will
to
you
the drinks
introduce me to your
first.
friends?
I know
Hi,
Arthur
I'm Carlyle
wants some.
Montgomery. Nice to meet you.
Oh, right.
Oh wait, okay? Yeah, Lark's just he's kind of just been watching this somewhere between a shit-eating grin and like mild annoyance on his face, because in the back of his head he's like, "Fuck, there's another one."
We
Like,
just keep multiplying,
His
Lark.
family keeps calling cursed bloodlines. In the back of his head, he's like, "How many possible ones are there?"
A lot.
He's just kind of looks around.
I like nudge you while you're lost. Say hello to my uncle, Lark.
Hello, Uncle. What was it again?
Carlyle.
Carlyle. Charmed, I'm sure. You can call me Lark. It's what the rest.
Joking about the uncle bit. I'm not actually their uncle.
Oh.
I'm just a friend of the family. I'm just fucking with
Gotcha.
you guys.
That
But
makes
this is great.
sense.
I love it.
Baron, get us whatever these boys want.
Hell yeah.
And you just see him turning and goes, "Oh, yes. Waiter." And he kind of sends a waiter over, just a random, just average looking brown haired girl that looks like she just needed a job. "All right, what do you want?"
Daddy Carlyle said we can have anything. I mean, Uncle. Sorry, Uncle Carlyle. Sorry, it's a force of habit. He said we can do it. We can have anything. So, what's your most expensive ale?
That would probably be the Hangman Special.
I
Get
will
us,
have one of those.
2 bottles of that.
All right. And she just
Yes.
turns and kind of wanders away.
It's not hard to tell whenever Percy's asked for alcohol, he doesn't know any of them.
You
Very on
are
brand.
I feel like even though like Yofi's not here, Arthur's probably the fastest
Yeah,
to warm up to Carlisle because
definitely.
he's buying people drinks.
do they serve food here too?
Yes.
Okay, he would order whatever's the most indulgent meal that they possibly have.
I
That
am
would
loving this character.
Probably be just a plate of turkey legs.
Nice.
That's about what this bar
Greasy.
is.
He wants it as
Yes.
greasy as possible.
Yeah, just a big old plate of greasy turkey legs, and he sets it down, and the waitress sets it down, and you see Rerek kind of look at it and just lean back away from it.
He's a vegetarian. Don't mind him. He'll find something.
Let's get a salad for the boyo over here. Thank you.
Oh, I don't think we have salads. You want pretzels?
That works. Get him some of that. So he needs some food, this growing boy.
Just scrape some mushrooms out of your back room. He'll probably eat them.
That too.
Well, now that we have food and drink, I'm sorry, I was a little lost on the connection here.
So I'm a friend of the family. I know Ellie and Howard and Bella. I actually saw Bella not so long ago.
But she didn't tell me anything. Where did you see her?
We crossed paths. So, sorry, I wasn't expecting to see you. I would have cleaned up. Water. Can I get some water?
Babes, you do not have to clean up. You do not.
A totally
have to clean
different
up.
waiter just comes by and just puts a jug of water on the table and walks away.
Okay, so here's the thing, Percy, Alex. I'm good friends with your uncle Leoben. About quite a few years ago, there was an accident. Me, Leoben, and a few others. He saved my life. And kind of, I don't know, brothers by blood at this point, you can kind of say. Our history's a little complicated, but I feel like I know him better than I know myself sometimes. And I know about the house. I know about everything you've gone through in the last few years. When I came across Bella, well, first I came across Ellie, Howard, and they directed me to Bella. She said that you could use some help. So here I am, a man in debt with considerable talents, just here to help. And I think by helping you, I'll be helping Leoben. He's had some hard times. Not so easy being part of your family, I'd say.
Yeah,
definitely. Can I? Do I know? I don't remember hearing the name Uncle Leoben. Is that something Percy would know, or?
Once again, trying to think.
Is it the missing one?
I don't think you would. Yeah, it's a bit far back.
Okay.
How big is this fucking family?
There's a lot of us. So yeah, Percy has a bit of a look of confusion on his face the entire time you're talking, and he said, "Right, I appreciate that, and I assume even without an insight check, it seems like you're being pretty forthright with us."
And all Alex is gonna do is be like, "So what you're saying is that we're not related by blood."
Okay, we'll get to that later. Can you just put a few more puzzle pieces together for me of who is Uncle Leoben? I don't think I know him.
Yeah, I don't know him either. So what is this?
I'm sure you don't know the Reinholds either.
No.
How big is our fucking family?
Pretty fucking big. Not everyone.
Great grandpa Balthazar got busy.
That fucking I you know, every time that I hoe around, I really say I'm doing it in honor of my great grandfather.
Leoben is related to, I think your nearest relative would be Credence. She.
Whom?
Who the hell is that?
Let's say your family's fucking complicated, okay?
Okay,
and
I get
there
that.
was a schism at certain points after certain events.
That I
There
will
are
believe.
some unfortunate ones, I'm guessing as well. Seems like there are very unfortunate events that happen.
Right, well, rather
doesn't
than have
happen.
you explain my entire family tree of people I don't know to me, maybe just tell me how you came across my parents.
Of course, of course. Well, Leoben pointed me in the direction of the house. The manor.
So you've been to it.
I've asked around about it. I've
Okay.
decided to keep my distance. He was pretty certain that you should be the ones to deal with this, that it's your inheritance, your blood.
Okay.
God damn it, really? Right, so you're saying that you could have been dealing with this entire time?
I'm saying that's not my
Could have been some
charge.
other Kruetzwald idiot who said yes to it.
I'm just here to help out, to guide you where you need to go, if I can. If you don't need me, just let me know and I'll be on my way. But
No,
No, we need you.
We know nothing about this city. And I think at the very least, your familiarity with it would be very helpful.
And also that pocket, like that coin pocket that you have there is also very great as well.
We're not here to bleed the man dry, Alex.
That you're just, paying for stuff. I love that as well. Thank you for being a friend of the family. Feel free to buy more stuff for us.
you're so welcome. Anything for a friend of Living's.
Yes,
And
And
perhaps
please call me Uncle Carlyle.
will do, Uncle Carlyle.
Sure. Perhaps as we travel, you could enlighten us with more stories about our family.
Yeah,
More than
because
happy to.
and maybe
we
like a forwarding
definitely-
address.
We need all the help we can get. We'll never say no to that. Sometimes it feels like it's just sort of the little group of us against the universe, and maybe a little more help would be good. So we'll take it.
It almost feels like we're the main character of like a story or something. It's crazy.
I feel like most people feel like the hero of their own story. Or the villain. Sometimes the villain.
I mean, heroes and villains are such binary terms, really.
I agree.
Please
Look
tell
at
me your
Lark.
story. I need to know more about you. Lark, it was?
Oh, Percy and I are just friendly acquaintances who find ourselves bound by certain things at this point, right, Percy?
I saved his life. It's sort of like a life deal.
Okay, see. Wow, I guess me and you have a lot more in common than I thought, Lark.
Perhaps. Lark he's just gonna like look at this. Is Carlyle human?
He is human.
Okay. Like being compared to a human, Lark's one eyebrow kind of just raises slightly, and he snickers a little internally. But in the back of his head, he's like, I mean, this could just be entertaining at least. Because, like, Alex has all of the subtlety of a war mace being swung on top of a zombie's head.
True. I once tried flirting with the barman horribly. Still got into his bed though.
Yep.
Ended up being a werebear.
Tell me, what's your plans now? You're in the city.
Right.
What's the next step?
Well, that's almost as far as our plan went. We came here to research Balthazar. We know he took residence here many years ago, so we were going to try to find where he lived.
Where are you staying in the city?
That's a great question.
Hopefully your house, Daddy. I mean, Uncle.
What's the nicest, not like super nice, but what's a pretty nice
like a 3-star Hilton.
Yes. Not something that would grab too much attention, but something that's comfortable. A little bit luxurious.
That would probably be the Creaking Gallows. That would be at Hangman Square. You would know it is the inn and tavern that is directly across from a very large tree that is considered a park, called the Hangman's Tree. It kind of has a little bit of an urban legend around it that if you hear the whispering of the people that were hung from that tree, that were hanged from that tree, it means that you're going to get justice for something wrong that was done to you. I don't know if Carlyle believes that in any way, shape, or form, but you for sure have never heard any whispering coming from the tree.
Yeah, he wouldn't care about that kind of thing.
Okay. But
He's
yeah,
afraid of other things, not that.
Right. But yeah, you definitely would not have heard any whispering from the tree, be it true or not. But yeah, that's
If we're
kind of
gonna
like
walk
the,
somewhere, I think I'm gonna do a sending spell to Bella, and just sort of be like, "You met Uncle Carlyle and didn't even tell me. What the hell, Bella?"
you just hear back, I have no idea who this is. Who are you talking about?
Instantly, Percy goes pale and is like, "Who is this person?"
He's like, ah, fuck.
Yeah.
But I don't really have a way to communicate that subtly. So,
Yeah.
Don't you have telekinesis?
no.
No?
I think you mean telepathy.
Yes, that one. No, that one, not the other one.
Yeah, those are
No,
two
unless I
different
want to burn
concepts.
all of my level 3 spell slots, I can't tell all of you.
Yeah.
So Percy just kind of starts taking a few steps farther away from Carlyle.
Alex notices and like pulls Carlyle up and Ben's like, okay, show me around, like what's happening here, to sort of like give you some space back there and be like, so how long have you lived here? Really like looping my arm around, being flirty as fuck, and be like, so how long have you lived here for?
That moment, I'm gonna go ahead and just do a casual detect thoughts on all of them.
Oh,
Okay.
cool.
Because I don't know these other people that are around him.
Right.
And so I just want to get an idea of what their baseline is. Not a deep thought, just like a, keep my eyes on them, so to speak.
I mean, if it's like a group-wide thing, you definitely hear Percy speak. Bella doesn't know him. Who was this man? Bella told me she didn't know him.
Yeah,
did
the
he get-
panic from Percy.
Did we get a
And you just
saving
hear
throw on
lust
detect
from
thoughts or
Alex.
no?
No,
not for surface.
That's that's only
You
if
speak
he decides
Sylvan.
to like.
With the detect thoughts, I believe as long as you speak a language, he understands them.
Oh,
Because it's just
Okay.
like surface thoughts, But I could double check that. I might be wrong on that one.
I don't know. Because we had the issue when Arthur used his telepathy that he couldn't understand Lark at first because he thinks in his native language instead of in common. I don't know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But if I do share the language, then yeah. Lark's just kind of like trying to do math in his head, probably. He's, I don't know, looking around. He's very judgmental of the material plane in general. And just like, there's probably just like a low grade level of disgust with the entire city and mild amusement at Percy being awkward.
Carl is not making any like notice of it. He's just going along with Alex and pointing out all the interesting sights and just having a
Yeah.
good time.
I'm sure you're just getting a wave of horny from
Yes.
Alex.
You are. You're just getting a
Um,
wave of horny, being like, hello, man.
So- Yeah. So Rerek is probably thinking about just like he's also kind of taken in by the wonder of the city.
Those bread
Um,
loaves weren't nearly filling enough. Like those pretzels.
Yeah, just like thoughts. Yeah, just like thoughts like that. Arthur is probably just thinking, oh, I could really go for another drink. A lot of his thoughts are about drinking. Mainly just drinking. So yeah, that's kind of what you get from them as you are walking along. And so I would say after a little bit, after kind of climbing some stairs going higher in the city towards the center of the city, you come across Hangman Square, which has the giant oak tree that's canopy spreads over the whole square. And in one of the corners, there is the creaking gallows, which the sign is actually kind of shaped like It's actually a trap door that was used when they would pull the lever and the body would fall through. It was actually one of those with the sign, the creaking gallows painted on it very beautifully. The windows also, they're not stained glass, but they definitely have a lot of like a stained glass quality, but all the pieces are just clear. And it's a nice kind of quaint little place. Kind of a bit out of the way, but also pretty nice. I guess since you live here, you would probably know that this is run by a halfling named Samuel Ryan.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
It's cute. I like it.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Gothic chic, which is totally in right now, particularly for this city.
Perfect. Well, let's go get you guys some rooms. Do you want to wait out here while I go take care of it?
Yeah, sure.
Sure, yeah, we can do that.
Perfect.
For
And
me.
goes in.
The second he's through the door, Percy's like, I sent a sending spell to Bella. She does not know who he is.
Okay, but he's still hot though. So
He lied to us.
and he got us a place to stay. He bought for dinner. So like, let's just stay with it. Who cares?
I don't think we should leave him by any means. He seems to have some sort of vested interest in us.
Because there's 5 of us, 1 of him. That's a great orgy. We can take him.
Alex, this man could be a threat to us. So we don't-
Okay, but like also he's been nice to us, so like why would we tip him off?
He seems mostly vested in the two of you, to be fair. He claimed to know some of what was going on, but didn't know about me or Arthur or Rerek, so we're home free. You two are the ones with the stalker.
I mean, it's a hot stalker. Call me up.
Okay, well, as long as none of us are concerned with the fact that he's claiming to know our family and maybe lying about everything else, but who knows? It's great. It's
Fine.
going great.
Well, think
So
of it this way:
switching-
if we don't like let him to know anything, like if he doesn't catch on, we can just try pumping him for like information subtly.
Well, I'm very good at pumping people for information subtly, if you want to go that
I mean,
route.
literally, we just slit some bitches' throats, so I think that we can interrogate him if we need be.
Let's take Lark's approach first.
If need
So-
be. I
so
mean,
switching
calm down.
to-
I love pumping people. I just love pumping people. I would love to pump him. Let's go.
So switching to indoors, where you walk in, it's definitely a lot more clean. They definitely wipe down all the tables after everybody's done eating at them. They sweep the floor a lot. They mop it. It's pretty nice. And you do see standing on the counter, because he's a halfling and he's tiny, is Samuel Ryan. He's dressed in green, and he kind of turns, hello there. What can I do for you?
Oh, it's so good to see you, my friend. I'm going to need a few more rooms. Maybe, I don't know how many were there.
So there's Percy, Rerek, Lark, Alex, and Arthur.
Perfect. I need 5 more rooms.
Oh, that's a lot. One moment. And he kind of pulls out, and you see him like adding in his head. Let's just call it 2 gold a night.
That's perfect. How about we just go ahead and let's make it a favor for friends. And he will cast suggestion without components.
19.
He will do the, what is it? Heightened?
So disadvantage,
Yes.
which is lucky for you because he rolled a 2.
Mark off those points.
Yeah. So he definitely kind of, why not? All right. 5 more rooms it is.
Thank you so much. I
And
really,
he-
really appreciate this. And You know, if you ever need any help around here, you know who to ask. I am a professional monster hunter, you know.
Aye, well, we don't see many monsters around here. And
I'm
he
a
pulls
bouncer,
out.
I'm a cleaner. I do whatever you need.
He just hands you the keys. I've got a bar to run. I'll see you later.
Hey,
And
my
he
friend.
turns and walks down the bar. And
he
you
goes
now
back.
have the 5 keys to the rooms.
Perfect. I come
That's
back
a
out.
great accent.
I've got the rooms, my friends.
Yay!
Great.
Good.
That's so
Wonderful.
generous of you.
Come on, let's go inside. Let me show you around.
Awesome. Sweet. Thank you. Let's go.
Perfect.
Yeah, so you walk inside and you see the same thing, a very well-kept bar, a few patrons here and there, and what appears to be the owner, who is a halfling, standing on the bar talking to some people, and kind of overseeing everything. It's a nice
It's
place.
nice in here. So you come here a lot?
Oh no, I like to go check out different ones every once in a while. I don't like to
do you
stay in
have-
one place for too long.
I mean, we can
Life
relate
is all
to
about
that.
experiences.
Definitely. Well, why don't we get our things settled, and maybe you can help us find a lead.
Perfect. I'm all for this. Whatever you need, and just go to the rooms.
Yeah, the rooms, he did get 5 rooms, so each of you get your own room. They are 1-bed rooms. They're not very large, but they look very comfortable. There's a nice end table, a chest, a good supply of candles to use. And a good portion of them are facing the square. So the window, you look out the window and you do see the tree. It's a pretty nice place.
Yeah. We can
Let's.
regroup and
Carlyle's gonna
all right.
bathe for a bit
Oh, okay.
and unwind the heavy toxicity that he was experiencing.
Yeah, so there is a bit of time that passes and you guys kind of get the time to unpack and relax a little bit before you all regroup.
Would it be like a short rest amount of time?
Yes, I will say it is a short rest.
Hell yeah. I'm gonna do my thing.
All right, so your short rest has ended and you regroup down at the bar itself. The city is yours. What would you like to do?
Well, our only plan was really to go to some sort of record keeper to try to find the location of Balthazar's residence. Do you have any better ideas, or do you know where a record like this might be?
Do I know where a record like this would be?
Roll me an intelligence check.
Yeah. You know, I'm really great at those. A 14. Not bad.
The upper city has some probably has a record place. The guild hall's up there, the palace is up there, the grand cathedral is up there. There's a lot of stuff up there. There's probably a record place up there somewhere.
That's where we'll go, somewhere up there.
um, Sounds good. I do want to see the Grand Cathedral also, just out of curiosity.
Well, while we go, tell me a little bit more about what you've been up to recently, how you got on this path, and what you hope to find.
Percy does not feel nearly as forthcoming as he did a few moments ago. Well, it's just I inherited the house, and that sort of one thing led to another. I happened to meet all of them on a job in Gravesend, and I'm related to Alex, and we all just sort of dove into the house, trying to get all the creeps and crawlies out of there, make it nice again. This is nothing that interesting. What about you? What have you been up to?
Just some
Percy,
spring
is everything
cleaning.
okay?
Yeah, really fine. I just kind of wasn't expecting to meet someone so knowledgeable about our family here.
He also is having a little bit of constipation, so please forgive him. Forgive my cousin. Beer just does not sit well in his stomach. He's a lightweight.
Yeah,
He's having a little
that
bit of a
too.
hangover. He's a fucking lightweight, and I keep on telling him this. So sorry about him. He's just an awkward little shit. Aren't you, Percy? I started just
Yes,
like glare
Alex.
at him, being like, "Aren't you, Percy?"
Percy's gonna just kind of slump and like go to the back of the group so the people who are good at talking can schmooze the new guy.
Lark's just enjoying this because it's rare to see Percy like this upset, which is entertaining.
Oh, Alex
Yeah.
is also very entertained by it in Living For. I think everyone in the group is just like, fuck yes, Percy is like showing like his cracks in his armor. Hell yes, Percy's nervous. Fuck yeah.
Percy's often nervous.
I mean, true, but we like to lord over you.
But like not in this particular
Yeah.
way, I guess. I
Yeah,
don't know.
that's true.
I have
It's
a
got a new
question.
flavor to it.
Is everyone just wearing like everywhere you go, they're just wearing their armors out? I was trying to figure out whether or not I'd be wearing my armor.
I mean, you can if you want to. I don't think any of them actually have. Percy has armor. I don't think anybody else does.
Then he would have armor.
Percy definitely has his armor.
Yeah, after the amount
You
of
would
times
see-
you guys have been jumped.
You would see that when he went back and showered and got ready, as he came back out, he is now wearing this heavy,
Oh man, that makes me
full-bodied,
so much more nervous.
full-bodied plate armor. Just there's a massive, massive armor.
Percy's just like,
You don't
"This
see any
man is
weapons on him.
going
but
to
you
kill
see-
us.
Yeah, so as you guys move into
turned on
the
even
upper
more.
city, as you all move into the upper city, there is definitely a sort of change of decor. There's definitely more wide open spaces, whereas the lower city was very crammed with these houses squished up next to each other and the streets very narrow. The streets have broadened. And you definitely see the walls of the high cathedral. There are hundreds of stained glass windows, soaring spires. The doors are a good maybe 20 feet tall to this place, and they are slightly ajar. This would probably be a time when they are ringing the bells, and you definitely see kind of over the walls. The walls aren't very high, but they're high enough that you can see kind of what's on the grounds, and there are quite a lot of trees on the grounds of this place, which is a bit weird since this, with the exception of the Hangman's tree in Hangman's Square, you have not seen very many plants. Even Darkmoor has more green space and vegetation in the city than this place does. It is gray stone as far as the eye can see, but there's definitely trees inside of the cathedral grounds. You also notice that there are gardens around the palace, which has a lot of towers, and it actually kind of is jutting out over the lower city. It definitely has a lot. You see a lot of guards walking by the sort of big gates to this place. And yeah, there are still houses and stores and shops here. but it's mainly for the palace and the Grand Cathedral. You do see another very large and grand building. That seems to be some sort of a hall of some kind. It has a sort of glass roof over a section of it. And there's quite a lot of sort of, it's kind of homely in a way, but it's kind of settled in a large square with a fountain in front of it.
Wow, nice place here. Dang. Don't see much vegetation usually in where we are. This is a nice surprise.
It's gorgeous. Yeah. I wonder who's going to be delivering the sermon now. It was
You deliver sermons?
no, not me. I'm mostly working medicine.
Medicine, really?
Yeah, I worked in a hospital for a long time before some stuff, but now I kind of mostly treat these guys.
Oh,
Thank you.
they're in good hands then.
Thanks. So this is the high city. We can. I need to find some sort of record keeper. That would maybe be towards the palace area. We can ask somebody, maybe.
You can if you'd like.
Sure. I guess a guard or something if there's one nearby. Is there like some sort of information person or like a crier
There's
or
not
something?
there's not an information person, nor is there a town crier, but there's definitely a glut of guards around the palace.
Sure, this is me going up to like the security guard at the mall saying I lost my mom. So yeah, I'll go up to one. Oh, my camera keeps going out of focus. And I'll say, excuse me, hi. Me and my friends were just looking for some sort of record keeper. We're trying to track down an old family estate that has been lost. Would you be able to point us towards some sort of record system?
Best place I can say is the guild hall over there, and he points to the building that's kind of separate from the other two giant complexes. That generally has stuff on residences and things there. They got all the lawyers.
Awesome. Thank you. Gonna go. And, yeah, well, he said over there. Let's go.
Percy's still sweating it, right?
Oh, 100%. I am absolutely freaking.
This is delicious.
As they walk
Lovely.
away, he's gonna go and like very, very like creepily lean into the guard's ear, whisper something, and then just walk away. But he didn't say anything. He just kind of like
100% want to clock that. I'm watching this man like a hawk right now.
He literally did it just to be an asshole.
I look at him and I'm like, what do you see that?
The guard kind of visibly looks confused, but isn't like clocking this as a threat. He just kind of gets back into position, and one of the other guards kind of leans over, and you're far enough away at this point. You see the mouth moving, and he kind of points over at the guy, and you see, they're having a brief conversation before they kind of get back into position as guards. And yeah, I would say if you're looking for it, you totally clock it.
I don't like this, guys. He's the armor. He's wearing armor. He's gonna kill us.
Well, yeah,
You're wearing armor and you don't kill us.
Well, he wasn't wearing it before.
We need to give you some catnip. Whatever the hell we give Jasmine so you can calm the fuck down.
Oh, you're back, Carlyle. Hi. We're almost. I was right here. I'm just gonna walk into the
Yeah,
guild
you
hall.
open the door. The center of this place is definitely a sort of feasting hall. It has a long table with a stage, lots of chairs, and it seems this place has put down flowers, but there are no plates. It seems that it's unused at the moment. There are offices of varying different types. You see an office for each of the guilds, the Illuminators Guild, the Shipwrights Guilds, the trying to think of all the guilds. I think there's a Baker's Guild. You see offices for all the guilds where these sort of leaders are. And at the very back, on the second floor, you do see a set of double doors with a sign over it that says registrars.
That looks promising. I'll walk on up.
So as you push open the door, the glass is frosted in this door. And as you push it open, you see a shadow kind of dart up and you whack someone with the door and you hear, oh, ow. As
Oh my
papers
God,
go
I'm so
everywhere.
sorry.
Ooh,
Are you okay?
oh, yeah, I'm fine.
Uh,
And as he's picking up the papers, you recognize this person. It's Quentin Felt, the guy at the very, very
The very
beginning,
beginning
who
of the
gave you the
campaign.
letter to
I
say
am like also
Leave
helping pick up.
Hallows.
Like, Quentin, right?
Oh,
It's Percy.
yeah,
Remember that?
yeah,
I
yeah.
like shoved the papers back in his hands.
Yeah,
It's
he
been
kind
a
of gathers them up.
while.
Yeah, it has. A lot of paperwork. I wasn't expecting you to be here.
No. And Percy's suddenly just remembering. Right, the person I was going to talk to is the lady who signed the house over to me.
Yeah, she is definitely there, and I do not remember her name at all.
Oh boy, I have it. It is Vendriana.
Vendriana, there we go. We're
Um,
professional here.
and I was like, right. We were actually just going to pop in on Vendriana.
Oh,
Just trying to track down some other family heirlooms.
okay.
Do you think you all might be able to help with that?
Yeah, I was running some errands for her before her lunch break ends, which is in like 2 minutes. Maybe I can see if I can squeeze you in
That
right
would be
after.
great. Yeah.
All right. Well, wait here. I know it's not much of a lobby, but I mean, it's the best we got. And you kind of look around, and it's just papers everywhere. But it's the best we got. I'll be back. And you watch him do his signature run back through the stacks of paper.
Carlyle's gonna go over to Alex and kind of like move him aside for a second, just like a few steps away. And he's gonna be like, "So, be honest with me.
Yes,
When
you're
was the last
gorgeous.
time Percy got laid? He's a little uptight, man."
Yeah, very much so. I actually don't know when actually the last time he got laid was. When was the last time you got laid?
You would have known I broke up with my ex like 2.5 years ago or something.
Yeah, so I'd like whisper him and it's like, yeah, it's been a while. It's been like 2.5 years. And that was a messy ex. That was a
You need
messy.
to do something about this because this man is just.
I mean, like, I'm related
Uptight.
to him, so like I can't, but like, I mean, you can, but I'd rather you do that to me and not him.
Oh, I'd break you. I was thinking more we'd
No.
find someone of his type.
I agree. Then you will. Yes, then break me next time. Yes.
Lark's just.
After this.
Are they being quiet or no?
Probably
We're
started
being
off quiet and then it
whispering.
stopped. Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's
Lark's
like
just gonna be like,
whisper.
his type right now appears to be what? vampire
it-
barmaids, and who else? Vampire barmaids, a naiad from the Shadowfell, and who else has Percy tried? Oh, the Gravediggers Guild, the head of it back in whatever the fuck that village was called.
So Percy
I-
can hear all of this, I'm assuming. He's just gone beet red discussing his
So
sex
really-
life, and then
I
he's
really
like,
appreciate a man with exotic tastes.
he's just gonna be like,
Work with
I
that.
do not like Svetlana.
Svetlana is your soulmate, Percy. I don't know why you keep denying the true love between the two of you.
It's so much fun to make fun of him. This is why we keep him around.
Yeah.
Not for his healing powers, not for the fact that, you know, we have a blood curse and he's probably the one of us that's going to survive this and cure the curse, because let's face it, I'm useless. But no, it's to make fun of his sex life. That's why we keep him around.
Mhm.
At this point, you see Quentin running back, and he like shoulder checks a pile of papers by accident. Oh,
We should go with him.
Vendriana will
He's
see
12.
you now.
Oh, never mind. Just kidding. Never mind. I didn't realize
Yeah,
that.
he does look very young. You're not sure how old he is. He does
Yeah.
look very young, though.
Percy just probably lowballed it. he's probably in his teens or something, but right.
kidding.
Well, thank you. We'll head back.
Yeah, so you head back to a sort of small-ish office that is significantly cleaner than the rest of this place, where you see the very familiar elven lawyer, Vendriana, and she is getting papers back out, pulling back out stamps and wax seals and ink bottles that she put away. And as you walk in, she kind of looks up and just knocks what looks like some sort of paper wrapping that a sandwich was in into a bin at the side of her desk. Hello there, Percy. It's been quite some time. I was told you wanted to find something. Are you looking for a particular residence?
Exactly. Yes, I'm looking for. Well, it might go back quite some time. My great, I don't know how many greats, grandfather Balthazar moved to Darkmoor a long time ago, and we were hoping to find where he lived.
See. Do you know how long ago he moved
It would have been like
here?
400 years, right?
Give or take.
Oh, yes. All right, give me just a second. And she reaches down to the bottom shelf and pulls out this huge file that's covered in dust. And she starts flipping through it. It takes her a good maybe 5 minutes of awkward silence, searching this file, scanning it, flipping through several pages. Ah, here we go. Interesting. It seems this house has also not been owned since Balthazar died. It's just been sitting vacant. No one's been able to sell it. Even more interesting. And she takes out a piece of paper and she writes down the address. Seems that entire neighborhood has slowly been emptying out.
Why does that sound accurate?
I mean,
Familiar.
That's suspicious.
your family
Um,
history, Percy.
Right. Could we get the address?
Oh, yes. And she gives you the address. And she also pulls out a map. I'm sure you're unfamiliar with the city. And she pulls out a map, and it's of the upper city. And she points to, it's this kind of out of the way street that wraps around the edge of the upper city. There's definitely the houses on one side of the street, it's a sheer drop. If you looked out the window, you could lean out and just look directly down into the lower city. But it's quite a short street that ends in a square that's unnamed with a fountain, and it's on the corner, and it is labeled Garrote Alley.
Fun.
Garrote?
Garrote. Yeah, like the
Garrote. Okay.
Fun
Yeah.
name. As we're walking out, I just like say to the rest of the gang, I'm just like, okay, who wants to bet something really bad's happened there? And we're gonna run into something bad when we get there. Who wants to bet? Pony
So
up.
as
for you, Lark, I'm not gonna
they
get my soul.
leave and Alex is talking boisterously,
Mhm.
I want to whisper to Vendriana. I
Uh-huh.
want to ask her, do you know if my uncle Leomund lives around here?
I think that'll take a bit of time to look for, but I can at least start looking for it.
Thank you. I'd appreciate that.
And just to clarify, he did say that Lehman had a different last name than you. He said Reinhold.
Oh. Okay.
So that you're aware.
Leomund, I didn't get the last part. What was the last part?
Reinhold.
Reinhold. Okay, I will say Lehman Reinhold.
I will have a look. It'll probably be a bit and I have other things to do, but I will at least attempt to search for it.
I appreciate that.
And I feel like that entire conversation was covered up by me loudly saying about how much everyone wants to bet and everything. So I think we can safely say nobody heard you have that conversation.
Yeah, so
I'm good at being a
get
silent
back with the
shield.
boys. And all right, well, we have an address. That was a lot easier than I thought it would be. But yes, 100% something awful and eldritch did happen there, and it is slowly poisoning the neighborhood. That is guaranteed.
So what are we betting? If this is yes, round on.
Well, who would bet no? Is
Eeny,
anyone would
meeny,
bet no?
miny. No. If we're right, rounds on eeny, meeny, miny. Uncle Daddy. If we're right, Uncle buys us rounds. If we're wrong, Uncle buys us rounds.
You like think it's hot that he wants us to call him uncle, don't you? You like that's like
Oh.
doing something for you.
Very, very hot.
Where did your parents go wrong? Honestly.
How old are Alex and Percy?
I think they're about the same age. They're
Yeah,
about,
we're like 26.
Yeah.
Yeah, child. Okay.
yeah. They're definitely old.
Standard
enough.
adventurer, hot person age.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're the babies. No, Rerek's the baby. Rerek's a 16-year-old.
Rerek is
Rerek's
literally
16.
15.
Literally a
Whatever, yeah.
teenager.
I'm
Don't
the
know why he chose
grandpa.
that.
I
How old
don't
are you,
know
Lark?
either.
Lark's, I think, canonically at least 200 years old, but he looks like he's in his
Definitely
late 20s.
at least
because
over a century and a half.
He's a fairy who spent most of his time in the Feywild. He also looks like a 2-foot tall pole dancer with butterfly wings.
That was not what I was picturing in my head. Okay, that
No,
changes.
no,
My
no.
interactions with you would have been very different until now. Okay.
Yeah. He's I don't know.
Say 2 foot tall, was that right?
Yeah.
He's 2 foot 3 inches.
Mm-hmm.
He mostly just flies at relative like eye level with everybody else.
Yeah.
Like your odds of seeing Lark ever land on the ground are very slim.
He's done it twice
So at this point, then
in 60 episodes.
Carlyle will be pretty much hounding Lark for stories about where he's from, how he got here, just everything interesting about him. He is fascinated.
I mean, I told you, Percy, he found me and he saved my life and I owed him a debt, so I found myself tagging along. And
No. Who are you? What was your life before that?
my life before that, darling, it would take too many hours to explain, and there's not enough hours in a mortal day to go over it.
No, but I feel like we have a lot of time to spend together.
He had a lot of ex-boyfriends and they're all dead now.
We don't know
Yes.
that for certain. Now,
I just love that. They're all dead now.
you guys know about 3 dead ex-boyfriends. Who conveniently are what I said.
But we know you. We know there's probably more. We know that there's probably more.
I mean, it's kind of interesting dealing with another player character who wasn't exposed to all the backstory at this point. So Lark's definitely doing what he did at the beginning of the campaign and being extra cute and evasive with any sort of answers and seeing if any of these other motherfuckers are gonna spoil it for him.
Yeah.
Because it took them about 30 episodes to get any truth out of Lark. So I
And
just
that
need
was
to
when you
focus on-
guys had to go to the Feywild and you couldn't just evade
Yeah.
around it.
Yeah.
Oh, and none of us. I mean, my reasoning for not saying anything is because like I'm just like Lark. He's mine, motherfucker. He's mine.
So Lark's just gonna be like, too many hours in the day or to go over. I mean, it's what? How long is a mortal year?
How about this? I'll ask you a few questions and you just give me the answers as you want. Okay? I just want to get a
I mean, if you
feel
ask
for
me a few
you.
questions, it's only fair if I ask you a few questions, right, Carlyle?
I am an open book. And he will cast Detect Thoughts and he will ask, so what's your family like?
Well, there's my siblings, and like immediately on family, like the first three people that pop in Lark's head are his three siblings, and there's like a pang of panic because he's worried about panic right now. And prank and rumor, which everybody else knows but not him. What does surface level detect thoughts do?
Just like the first thing that comes across your mind when you hear or think of something.
Oh, yeah. Family, it's immediately to prank, rumor, and panic, which I don't know if you can see things through it or not.
It's up to Spencer.
I'm not sure. I feel like I'm pulling it out. I feel like it might depend on whether or not somebody thinks visually versus
If it's a
Audially?
visual thought, then you see Lark and two other fairies that look like if triplets were identical but not the same gender, if that makes sense. So
Yeah,
three
makes
really
perfect
hot
sense.
monarch butterfly winged fairies just laughing over other people's corpses. And then Panic is their third sibling, who's a little bit younger, who is a giant fairy monster lady who we know canonically likes to murder rabbit people for fun.
And
We haven't met her
goblins.
yet.
And goblins.
I've only seen her in visions. And she likes she likes eating goblins. It's fine. She needs a
Fine.
more refined palate. But yeah, he thinks of his siblings, and then his grandther, which is a furbolg, who's just like burying a corpse in a garden. So those are like the three visions that pop into his head.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, and he's just like, I mean, yeah, my family, we've had conversations since I've gotten here, and they've even managed to help the boys out from time to time, and maybe caused a few problems for them too, as we are wont to do. Now, Carlyle, I'm very entertained at how Percy seems to be sweating lately, but I've
noticed that.
you don't mind if I ask you a question, do you?
I'm an open book.
I'm gonna subtle spell suggestion on him and be like,
Nice.
Carlyle, yeah.
That's
so
a
yeah,
what save?
saving throw.
And I
I
will
think
do
it's a
that with-
wisdom save. Let me double check.
I will do that with advantage because that's a charm,
Ooh.
right?
Yes.
Creatures that can't be
Wait.
charmed are immune to this effect. The suggestion would be worded in such a manner as to make the course of action sound reasonable. Asking the creature to stab itself, throw itself onto a spear, immolate itself, whatever. Wisdom saving throw, failed save. It pursues the course, but I think as part of the casting, what do I have to do? Say a sentence or two, right?
Yes.
I believe
Yeah.
there's thematic components too, like you do the whole hand thing.
Well, with subtle spell, you can skip those.
Yeah.
subtle
And
spell.
he subtle spells a
Nice.
lot.
Oh yeah,
That's a
but I
signature
saw you
move.
doing it. I was like, oh my god, I love it too. I do the
Nice.
exact same thing to NPCs.
That was
Um,
an 18 with advantage.
Oh, an 18 with advantage does save, which sucks. Because my
Rolled a
spell
4
save
for the first
is
one.
a 17.
Ooh.
So yeah, Lark was just gonna be like, I really just need to get the truth out of you about if you mean the boys harm and what you're doing here.
I'm more than happy to tell you whatever you want to know. Just go ahead and ask.
Oh yeah, but obviously suggestion didn't work. Like that's what he probably like thinks that briefly as he's like, ugh. But then
Yeah, I
again,
still have my detect
kind of-
thoughts up too, so I would.
Yeah,
So even subtle spell, I'd be aware of him casting the spell, wouldn't I? With detect thoughts.
most likely,
Hmm.
because you do have to put part of your mind into casting. So
It's probably very similar to when you do it,
Yeah.
as Lark just says the sentence of, I need to know if you mean the boy's harm and what you're really doing here.
Yep,
But
and he'll
obviously-
intentionally say it in a way to just, kind of give you this nod of, you can ask me whatever you like.
Hmm. So the spell didn't take. Gross. But actually, Lark's probably more entertained and amused than anything else that he resisted it, because at least that makes him more interesting instead of somebody who can just get rolled that easy. So he's just like cackling internally, and he's just like, I'm going to need to keep an eye on you, aren't I?
The game is on. I like this.
Now, I'm not going to presume anything, Carlyle, but as loath as I am to admit it, we are doing something important, so try not to get in the way, will you?
I'm only here to help. And only as long as you want me here. I will leave whenever you say.
I feel like Lark's just not going to try to do it again, because, like, at least it didn't, like, it would probably have been more red flags to him if it would have been, like, the cultists we just dealt with who are completely immune.
right.
This is like knowing that the spell almost tried to get a hold and didn't work. So he's just gonna giggle a little bit, chuckle, and be like, it's fine. Yeah, that's gonna burn a sorcery point in the spell slot. Which fortunately I made a couple when we were on that short rest.
Good old coffee locking.
Gotta love it. And it's a second level slot. But yeah, so yeah.
All right. Were we
So
at the place?
My idea didn't work, but instead of being mad about it, I'm just entertained. So I'm just gonna roll with it, keep an eye on him, and be like, I mean, I guess as long as he's not going to outwardly, because I'm also like I'm on orders, so I need to make sure other people are behaving their best way. And
Yeah.
For Carlyle's part, he's still waiting for you to actually ask a question out loud, because as far as anyone else saw,
Yeah, you guys
Can I
are
ask-
walking in
Oh.
silence. It's
Well,
just like,
and then-
even if the suggestion didn't work, the question was, I'm gonna need you to do that. And then when you didn't do that,
Okay, got it.
that's when Lark started like the look on his face. It was a little, maybe like a brief, there's always a little bit of mischief and malice in his eyes, and there was a brief bit of annoyance, and then he just started chuckling to himself. But
so I would say at this point in the conversation, you do come to a square that was pointed out on the map, because Garrote Alley is actually an alley, or at least it begins at an alley. You look and you see 3 streets, the one that you came from, one off to your right, one forward, but to your left, there are 2 buildings that come very close together in that sort of typical medieval style of having these larger second story that overlaps and goes over the first story. The top 2 stories nearly touch, and there's a space that is wide enough for a single person to walk through. 2 people could squeeze through uncomfortably. But it is so narrow that you can put your hands against the wall of either building and not fully extend your arms. And that seems to be the entrance to Garrote Alley.
I'm gonna go ahead and switch my detect thoughts from that one person conversation to detecting the minds of the people around me. I think it's 30 feet.
Yeah.
Are there any other minds out around us?
Oh, there are plenty. There are people milling around, and it's mostly just, oh, I forgot my grocery list. All right, so I need to get to Aunt Belinda's by 3 o'clock, and just like random thoughts like that as people are just milling around in the square.
And
No one is
Alex.
having evil thoughts about murder and Cthulhu.
Nope. Not that anyone picks up on. Nope.
don't shortchange your family. Well, obviously that wasn't the character, but if it was Lark, would be like, don't shortchange them, Percy. Your family also bound demons into their service and had trek with devils.
Yeah.
Alex
All
sees
right.
Alex sees the the entrance to the alley and be like, Carlyle, let's go first, shall we? Because he sees that it's such a small space.
And
I'll
so
use that
from-
as an excuse to be like, I think your dance card's about to be full, and push. I'll just like pat him with another chuckle on the shoulder as I drift over to Percy and almost do like an in-air shrug. Like, it didn't work. I don't know what to tell you, but I'm entertained.
A question. So we're in the middle of the square, and then there's this alley that only one person can fit in, and I
Mhm.
don't sense any mines coming from that alley.
You do, as you get closer, you do sense minds. And once again, it is kind of just basic thoughts, but it kind of shifts a little bit of like, oh, why didn't I move out of this shithole sooner? And, kind of thoughts like that. Again, nothing menacing, just people's thoughts.
Well, I think there's probably a better way of going about this. Lark, you seem like the adventurous type. Have you ever done any scouting before?
I mean, I've been the eye in the sky before, and I don't really need to. Yeah, Lark's just gonna fly above the alley.
Before you go,
Mhm.
I was thinking we could do this with a little more finesse. And he's going to go ahead and cast greater invisibility on you.
Oh. An invisible flying scout. Much nicer.
Ooh.
I feel like with a little more subterfuge, maybe we'll have a better idea of what we're about to get ourselves into. What do you think?
Sounds fine to
Yeah.
me. So I'm
you
just
now hear Percy be like, fuck, he can cast magic, god damn it.
And literally, then you hear in your mind with Alex just saying like, "Damn it, that's my spell."
That's because you trademarked greater invisibility when you learned it at Wizard
Yeah.
College. Okay. I can still talk while I'm invisible, right?
Yeah.
You can do everything. You're just
Oh, yeah.
completely invisible. You
Greater
can cast
inv-
whatever.
Yeah, greater invisibility actually doesn't break. It only lasts for a minute, I think, but it doesn't break if you perform any actions like regular invisibility.
Oh,
Regular
wow.
invisibility lasts an hour, and casting spells, attacking, I think it's casting spells or attacking or significantly interacting with objects, which is kind of a very open phrase, breaks it instantly, but it lasts for an hour. Greater invisibility, you can do all that, keep your invisibility, but it only lasts a minute.
All for a minute.
Yep. I was like, go scout.
Go fast.
Oh yeah, okay. I'll go fly through the upper part of the alley and try to find the spookiest shithole that this family's from.
Well, you did see on the map, it was the corner house on the left side. As you fly down the street, you notice that the square is kind of angled at a bit of an odd sort of 45-degree angle. So the left side of the street actually has 2 extra houses. And you definitely see it. That end of the street looks like it's entirely empty. Most of the people that live on this street, that live in Garrote Alley, live near the entrance of Garrote Alley.
So since I'm invisible, I guess I'm gonna keep an actual eye. I'll keep an eye out. Do you want me to roll any sort of check to like see if I notice any suspicious people in these alleys?
You can give me a perception check.
Yay, I'm a little better at that than investigation. Ooh. Has an 8.
People are acting as suspicious as humans tend to act.
Oh, yeah. That's a way to explain a low roll. I have such a low opinion of mortals,
Yeah.
except for as food sources. And so yeah. I'll flit around a bit and
Yeah, eventually because it only lasts a minute, it does run out while you were still flitting around.
I would send him a telepathic message letting him know he only has so long so that it doesn't run out if he needs it.
Okay.
Do telepathy.
So for the first time, you hear in your voice, "You might want to be quick, darling."
Oh. Can you hear things back or no?
If you want to say something back. Not sure how aware, I don't know how that works in this world, how aware you are that you can respond.
So is it the message cantrip or is it the
No.
telepathy feat?
It's the telepathy feat.
So I think the telepathy feat does not allow people to speak back to you
This
unless
is
you
for,
cast.
let me see.
Unless you cast something.
This is for my other thing. We can speak with each other up to 5 miles.
Okay. So you're not using your telepathy feat, you're using your aberrant
Path of
mind
speech.
thing. Yes. Okay. So yeah, you can speak back then.
Lark's just gonna be like, "Oh, you're so full of surprises, Carlyle." Yeah. I mean, he's just gonna be like, "I don't really see anything more dangerous than like I didn't notice any like people sharpening scimitars around a corner ready to shank everybody."
No, just people milling around.
Yeah, I'll just be like, "It looks about as wonderful as this plane tends to be." And yeah, I'll start flying back to the group after doing some basic scouting with a shitty perception check. Just being Lark, just Lark being Lark and being like, why am I still on this plane? Oh yeah.
I have a question. This has
Mhm.
nothing to do with anything. I just thought about in this moment because Fae are kind of new to the D&D like official classes. What happens if someone casts banishment on them? Is the PC gone to the Feywild
Back
away
to
from
the
the party?
Feywild, yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, in the beginning of the
I have
campaign, because
threatened
of
it many
plot
times.
reasons.
Oh,
Yeah, I would
also have
say-
banishment. I should start doing that.
Yeah. I mean, you guys can try to banish me.
Yeah,
I was just
Lark
curious. I
probably
like never
very
thought about it
good.
before.
Yeah,
So
at
like
this
all three of
point-
us just try it.
Yeah, at this
Banishment-
point,
Just
Lark
pointing out that
would
banishment
go
is a
back to the
charisma saving
Feywild.
throw,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I'm a
Lark would go back to the Feywild at this point. However, at the beginning of the campaign, for plot reasons, he would not have.
yeah.
I'm just
which
curious. It's a thought that crossed Carlyle's mind.
Yeah.
While you're
Um,
still talking to him, so did Lark hear it?
No.
Oh, I mean, if Lark had heard a thought like that, he'd be like, maybe he really is related to Percy. I have zero illusions that once the storyline's resolved, that Percy's not gonna try to banish me. But yeah, I'll fly back to the group and be like, it seemed fine.
Are you gonna tell us that, Carlyle spoke to you in your head? Are you gonna tell us that or no?
No.
Okay, gotcha. Good to know.
I mean, somebody else spilled a lot of tea on me at one point in the campaign. So I'm going to let other people spill their own tea as it comes and just laugh my ass off while people figure shit out on their own.
Gotcha.
Okay, let's go.
So you all one by one squeeze through into Garrote Alley. As Lark saw, the houses that are the most populated are the houses up front. After you get about halfway down the street, there are no residences that look like they are occupied by anyone. There are just dark windows and empty, quiet houses until you get to the very end.
Can we have Rerek have cast his magic eyes, like as a ritual while we were waiting or something?
Sure. Yeah, and he's kind of bouncing it around between the houses, and he's just
Oh, I meant detect magic.
Detect
not
magic?
arcane.
detects magic. Yeah, the house at the end of the street, the one that Vendriana pointed to, there is some magic there.
Shocking.
It seems to be abjuration magic,
Oh.
a bit of evocation magic, and a bit of necromancy.
Are we shocked? No.
That sounds par
always
for the
play
course for the
characters-
Kruetzwald.
I always
Yep.
play characters with detect magic, and this is the one time I didn't. And so I've been sitting here the whole time like, Somebody's gonna cast detect magic, right?
We have two
Yeah,
wizards.
that's generally Rerek's move.
Yeah.
He basically he has two modes.
Rerek's
Detect
move
magic
is casting
mode and
fireball. Detect magic is when we ask him to.
yeah,
Yes.
he has three modes: magic missile everything, fireball everything, or detect magic.
Mhm. He tried to fireball a hell pig that would have been immune to
Yeah.
fire damage.
Yes, he's that kind of person.
Have we walked? Are we now walking up towards the house?
Yeah, I would say you guys are walking up to the house at this point.
Okay. Before we get there, I'm gonna just do my little telekinesis, which is the invisible mage hand, and just see if the door's open and then open it as we're
Yeah,
approaching.
the door seems to open. As your mage hand opens the doorknob just falls off. It looks like somebody tried to break in and just they succeeded, but you're not sure what exactly would have happened, but there's clearly been some kind of a break-in as the door
You guys would
swings
see just the
open.
floating doorknob. Huh.
We're like, okay, who just cast that? Looking around.
He doesn't make any move.
I mean, Percy is he's just gonna be suspicious of you anyways. Anything happens, he's gonna blame you right now. So
Very Harry with Draco in like 5th book.
yeah.
Anything happened is like Draco
breathes and Harry's like
Draco did it.
I feel like
Paralyze the
Mark's
Death
just
Eater, everyone.
entertained because, like, this is the first time he's run into somebody who Percy is mistrustful of more than him lately. So he's just like living. He's like, I wonder if I could like slip away for a little bit and Percy won't pay attention.
Right. I guess Percy's just gonna walk in and
Yeah,
kind
so
of
you
look back at the group and he's trying to not look suspicious, but probably doesn't succeed.
So inside the house, there doesn't seem to be a lot of furniture. In the middle of the room, there is a single rocking chair. There's a lot of dust as well. There are several paintings on the wall. There's a staircase off to your left. There is kind of a wall that separates. It's at a very odd sort of angle with a sort of archway that leads into what appears to be the dining room. The dining room does not have a table, but it has several chairs. And on the wall, you notice there are two paintings, one of which you instantly clock as something pretty important. A huge painting on the back wall, you recognize almost everybody in it. It's a painting of the Kruetzwald family. There is Anna and Clara standing together. There is Melkor and Elsbeth standing together. There is Wolfgang and Dorothea that are standing together with their hand. Dorothea's hand is out, resting on the shoulder of what appears to be Oscar. There is also sitting a good maybe 2 feet away from the group, as if they arranged it specifically this way, is what appears to be Balthazar, with a strange woman that you do not recognize. She seems to be a 7-foot tall Goliath woman. Gray skin, jet black hair.
Great grandma Goliath.
Some braided stuff in her hair, what appears to be a sort of tribal necklace of teeth and wooden beads, as well as furs and very sort of traditional, very northern Kievkin sort of dress. And she's actually standing behind him with a very large hand on Balthazar's shoulders, but the
She's
family
top.
seems to be separated. You do see also that Ludwig is in this in this painting. And you've
Is it
seen
done in
enough
his
of Ludwig.
style, or is it?
No, it is not.
So
It is
okay.
a different style entirely. But there is a second portrait on the adjacent wall that is of this woman, this Goliath woman, that is done in Ludwig's style. But those are the only two paintings that are on the wall.
Are there-
Everything else seems completely bare bones. There is barely any furniture in this place.
Was there any magic coming off since he had detect magic for 10
Yeah,
minutes?
I'll ask Rerek. Is there anything in here that's giving you magic vibes?
Behind that painting, and he points to the portrait of the Goliath woman.
Yeah.
Or
Percy,
what,
this
what
explains.
kind of magic?
Abjuration magic.
So, like, if I touch it, is it gonna explode?
I don't know.
Carlyle will try to lift it psychically, and he'll just raise a hand to show everyone he's doing it.
The painting
Nice.
rattles, but it is not just hung on the wall, it is attached to the wall. And you can feel it as you try and pull it. Doesn't quite
Attached
work.
via magic, or just like bolted in?
It seems to be bolted in.
Okay.
Alex
Ah.
says real quick, like once he sees that, he's like, "Well, that's new, Carlyle. Interesting."
You didn't see anything; it didn't move. It just rattled a little bit.
But when you had you said you had
Yeah.
your hand out, like doing
He
that.
like does
Yeah,
a casual
you-
like this, and nothing really happened. And he's like, it's usually more impressive. Fuck, I'm losing my touch.
No, so then I like what Alex does is that he like says, "Okay, so Carlyle, point out to the ones that you talked to on the family portrait. Be like,
They
point out
died
point out
400 years ago, Alex.
Unfortunately, but I can
Wow.
show you, and he'll show you in his hand an image of a very portly looking man who looks nothing like you guys. Short, squat, and kind of just eyes wide, terrified, balding. This is Leoben. I realize you probably don't recognize him, but there he
Nope.
is.
You're just projecting it, like.
Minor illusion.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. So then we're like, oh, okay, so this bitch does magic.
You saw
Lit.
him turn what's his
Yeah,
name? What's his
we-
name invisible?
We
Yeah.
been new.
Everybody knew this.
Even new.
Alex is slow. Alex is focused on your dick. Okay.
Okay, well, I'm gonna approach the paintings, and at first I'm like, did Balthazar marry a Goliath? Are we
It
related to a
explains-
Goliath?
Everything, Percy. That raw animal attraction that you have for Svetlana. Your family's been in love with dominant, powerful women for generations.
And Alex just like open
Yep.
like just like literally like does like one of these things with his pants and be like, yep, no, this
Oh
tracks.
my god.
Oh, look, like, well, this tracks. And then like looks over to Carlyle and be like, hey.
So I'm gonna investigate the painting.
Yeah. It's definitely a
I'm gonna guidance myself.
yeah. So yeah,
You
give me
do
an
that when you're
investigation
alone,
check.
please. Because we all know that guidance needs a touch.
That's gonna be a 15.
Yeah, so you've seen Arthur do strange things with paintings and find things behind them, and if it's not the painting itself that's magical, maybe it's that. So you kind of reach and begin to tug on the painting in various ways until you find, yep, it's a hinge, and you swing it open. And behind this painting is what appears to be a safe inset about half an inch into the wall so that the painting can actually somewhat be flush against the wall.
Would not have been opened with a
It's-
telekinesis. It was on a hinge and he was trying to like rattle it.
Well, I'm assuming he was trying to pull the whole painting forward.
He was trying to move
not
the
twist
painting. He
it.
wasn't.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, he wasn't
So
looking for
it
a
wouldn't
hinge or
have
anything.
moved, yeah. Because he was
I
probably
guess.
expecting it was just hanging on the wall and yeah.
So I assume, Rerek, the abjuration magic is on this safe, not actually the painting.
Yeah, it looks like it. You see this circle of buttons around what looks like a cameo of this Goliath woman. And they also take the form of somewhat of a cameo. And It has 9 of these buttons around the portrait. There is an elk, a moose, a salmon, a raven, a hare, a wolf, a fox, a goat, and a bear around this portrait of this Goliath woman.
Can you say those one more time for me?
Yes.
An elk, a moose, a salmon, a raven, a hare, a wolf, a fox, a goat, and a bear.
Got it.
So the puzzle. I love these things.
Kruetzwalds love their puzzles.
Guys, literally, like when we did a puzzle for this, like literally, like I was so excited about it. You don't
You guys
understand.
solved it in like 10 seconds.
Yeah, I was so happy. I was like, "Fuck yeah!"
So
Yay.
is it just match what eats what to what? Like the bear eats the salmon? Is that what we're doing?
Last time, didn't we need a poem?
Yeah, we had like a poem or some shit last time. Should we like search for a poem or some shit?
Sure.
Let's see if your great-great-grandfather kept his diary of depressing teenage poetry somewhere.
Yeah, I guess. I don't
Or we can
know,
just
I
start
guess
pressing buttons.
Go
That
up.
too.
Yeah, what happens if you press a button? Like
So you reach out and you press a button. Is there any button in particular you press?
bear.
Okay. So you press it and it chunk. It stays down.
I pressed the salmon button.
I'm about to say, fuck it,
Chunk.
try the
It
salmon.
stays down as well.
Well, I don't know if that's encouraging or discouraging, so
Oh wait, what's she wearing? What are the pelts? Did you say she was wearing pelts
Yes.
Oh, she's
Do
wearing a
we-
necklace of teeth too.
and teeth? So should
is
we
she
like
wearing
figure
a
out?
fish pelt?
Well-
No,
Well,
she
should
does
we,
not
like-
seem to be wearing fish skin.
Do we know what kind of pelts that she's wearing? Do we recognize them?
If you'd like, you
Fucking-
can make me a nature check.
I went to God school, man. I don't know animal pelts.
Wait, like theoretically, I feel like we should ask Arthur to do it, but I also feel like
Arthur has like a shit nature skill, doesn't
Surprising
he?
for a ranger, he has pretty low nature.
oh yeah, he does. I'm looking at his sheet. Oh wait, that's my sheet. Arthur's sheet.
Read yourself.
I know what
What
I'm
is
good
this
at.
shit?
Look,
I
shouldn't you
know.
have like a high nature check? Since like
Not a very naturey party.
You guys are a bunch of city slickers.
Carlyle's like,
+2 in it. I'll try.
I'll be honest, I have no idea how to do any of this. I am out of my depth. I'm good at, I don't know, people, not so much puzzles.
All right, I got a 21, so I rolled 19 out of a +2 in nature.
Ooh.
I was completely by luck.
And I'll give you a guidance so you can add another
D4.
24.
Ooh. Weird. Somehow you kind of look at this and you kind of in a weird way recognize these are elk pelts.
Yes. Okay, so y'all, those are elk pelts. That's cool. So
Is there
can we
any
like
other sort of animal imagery in there?
As you look at her, she's wearing her on her head, she's actually wearing a headband with elk antlers on it.
It's a very elk-themed
what
portrait.
about the teeth?
Yes, very
about the
elk
teeth?
themed.
And what
Are
about the
they
teeth?
elk teeth?
You can't really tell what type of teeth they are.
Are they
Do I
human?
know what they aren't though? Like, can I look at them and be like, oh, those are not bear teeth.
They are not fish teeth.
They are not
Well-
wolf teeth.
Yeah, they're not fish teeth. They're not rabbit teeth. They're
I
not
don't know
raven
if this
teeth.
painting is going to give us all of our answers.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to. You can't tell what
Okay.
type of teeth they are. They're kind of just generic predator teeth.
Alex sort of like nudges on like Percy over and be like, I got this, bitch.
Okay,
like, clicks the
you
salmon
click
and
buttons for a while. We'll look around.
Yeah, so like he literally like unclicks what Percy did. Or like he tries clicking it again and like clicks the salmon again.
Uh-huh. It stays
it-
down.
Does it stay down? So it doesn't like
Yes.
it doesn't
It
come
doesn't
back
pop
up.
back up, no.
Right. So he like holds over his shoulder and be like, Percy, if you fuck this up, I'm gonna be pissed.
Just do a full thing and see if they pop back up.
Can't you just like dispel it and we can blast it open?
I'll cast Dispel Magic on the thing.
You cast just at 3rd level?
Yeah.
All right. You cast the Dispel Magic. It is almost like a stone in a pond. It ripples, but the water remains.
Doesn't it have like a stingy
Because-
roll if it fails? Or if it... Yeah, the DC equals 10 plus the spell's level.
All right. Roll me that. See if it works.
And I use my spell casting ability modifier. Okay. Come on. That's good. It's a 22.
Oh, all right. So you cast Dispel Magic, and the magic fades from the safe. At this point, however, the temperature in the room drops. And
Oh.
suddenly, standing in the middle of the living room, you see this bluish gray light begin to shine.
God damn it.
As you look over, you see this Goliath woman, but she's dressed in armor. She has a helm over her head with knotwork carved into it with huge antlers, huge pelts over her shoulder, carrying a gigantic battle axe with a wide stance, fur boots, a huge belt. And you actually, interestingly, see floating in the middle of her chest is an ethereal heart, blood red, beating, and on fire.
And Alex just looks at fucking Percy and be like, what the fuck did you do?
Can
And
I just
she-
start like drifting upwards away from the ground? Like
You
I'm out-
certainly can.
I'm gonna however high the
When you're
ceiling is.
indoors.
It's like a 10-foot ceiling.
Good luck, everybody else.
Literally, Alex just
And-
glares at Percy, being like, fuck you for doing this.
Oh, like you could do
Get
any better.
killed. Bitch, I had this
And-
down. I called it out being elk fur.
She grips the axe and she just yells, I am Ingrid Elksdottir, sister of the bear, the wolf, and the raven. You should
Oh.
not be here. And she hefts her axe and she actually gives a Xena warrior princess screech, which I cannot do. And then she just charges towards you, this 9-foot ghost woman. And that is actually where we're going to end this episode of Scion of the Dark House. So come back next week to see how we resolve this interesting ghost encounter. And I will see the rest of you guys in 5 minutes.